you begin your job on Monday. So I would like you to introduce yourself, man. Could you tell me what's up with Justin?
Of course. Thanks for taking this interview with me. Hey, pre-hired. My name's Justin. I was in a situation where I had been working a number of different jobs, sales in various different facets, mortgages, retail. I've currently been working as a furniture mover for a company that does staging in Seattle. And I thought I was going to be a football coach, just a nomad traveling around, but I met my girlfriend. Life got real. I turned 30 and I decided I really need to focus on how am I going to build a future and a career that is really going to be able to provide for a family because I'd met someone I wanted to build a life with and I'd been successful in the past, but I knew that there was a better way to do things. And that's when I tried to find pre-hired or what turned out to be pre-hired.
And that's awesome, Justin. And we're glad to help you here. We're glad that now you feel more comfortable. Those coaching skills will come in handy, I'm sure. Can I ask you, Justin, why were you interested in software sales?
I knew I wanted to do sales. I had done mortgages before. I had done solar panels, solar hot water. I had done, like a high-end Harry and Davids that I managed in the past. So I loved sales because you can meet people, you get to talk, you get to provide them with a service that was great. But I wanted to get the most bang for my buck. Sales is tough, and I knew what it was like to get on the phone and make a ton of calls and get hung up on and yelled at. So I wanted to make sure that I got the biggest return on my investment. So I did research on my own, and it was obvious that tech sales was definitely the route I wanted to go. And it made me nervous because I didn't know if things were different in that industry. And
Right.
that's why I wanted to get some coaching and get some education.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So after you did your research, why were you interested in doing it through pre-hire?
I found pre-hire just searching, certain trainings. I was looking at different mentors. I was looking at different training classes. Pre-hire was just persistent, using the sales tools that they taught us. Personalized messages kept popping into my inbox. Josh kind of pestering me. I was doing this furniture sale. The price tag worried me. The claim that I could get $100,000 career, was like, sure, whatever. It was a little suspicious. I was googling, is this a scam? Can I trust these guys? What is this? And but I eventually bit due to all the emails and all the automation coming at me from Josh, and I did some more research, and I finally reached out and had an interview with Tommy.
That's awesome. You see, persistence is key. Persistence is key in sales, guys. And here's the proof. Justin wouldn't have gone through the program if it wasn't for Josh's persistence. And we're glad you went through the program, man. So that's good. That's and you mentioned like you were really skeptical, but once you got into it, how hard did you went at it? Did you find it super interesting? What was it like going through the program for you, Justin?
I was ready to learn. Like I said, I was at a point in my life where I came in super eager to really make something of myself. So regardless of if the program was going to be the right fit for me, it was already made up in my head I was going to be successful. But the great thing turned out, the combination of the online training and then also, Tommy, who did my admissions interview, he was the first point of contact with the company. And he was awesome. Like the amount of emotion and the connection that he built, the rapport that he built right away was unreal. And then I was super lucky to get a mentor like Kyle, who was probably the most important part of this whole process for me. I don't know what all the other mentors are, but I know Kyle really changed things for me and was as effective, if not more effective, than the actual training online. The training was thorough and all the paperwork that came was awesome, but I went through it quick and I went through all the videos really fast and I kind of took time off of work to get through it as fast as I could. But it's definitely you get out of it what you put into it. Just because you watch the videos does not mean you get everything. You're not going to absorb everything. You actually have to put it into practice, and even more so than just the certification process too. You got to spend some time and do some homework and study and really absorb all of it. But I think the combination of being able to ask a ton of questions and push things and push back on some stuff with Kyle as I'm going through the training was really what made it successful for me.
That's amazing. Yeah, and Kyle mentioned that you guys are going for drinks sometime soon.
Yeah, we're going out this Saturday. My girlfriend wants to meet him. She's like, "Who is this dude?"
Is he real? He is. Awesome. So you get to see him on the flesh. That's great. Could you share your data with us, Justin? You mentioned that you got really help. What was it like in the beginning? And what type of improvement did you show later?
Yeah, as far as my, searching for a job, my resume was one of the tough points getting in the door with some of the bigger companies. But luckily here in Seattle, there's a million jobs out there. So I really, first and foremost, I made it very clear, it wasn't just about the money. I was looking for a great fit for me. And if I had to give myself advice going back into this, I really pinpointed the exact ICP and BP of a company that was going to make me successful 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And that really helped me narrow it down. So I, at the end of it, I probably applied to about 50 jobs. I started an interview process with 35 jobs, and they're still getting back to me. So it would probably be more if I didn't already find the perfect fit. So 40 out of 50, I probably had an opportunity to actually interview with. I went through 3 rounds with probably 20 of those companies. And then
Wow,
I turned down, just knowing what I was looking for specifically, I turned down a ton after the first interview. The phone call, I go, you know what, this isn't the right fit for me. I ended up getting offers from about 8 companies, and one stood out above all the others. Without question for me. And it came down to the last second, and I had offers expiring on the same day. I had to get on a FaceTime call with the new VP of sales of this company because they wanted to make sure, it was tough for me. I didn't have any leverage, so I couldn't negotiate. But I'm like, if we can speed this up because I don't want to lose this job if I don't hear from you guys. But it all worked out, and I definitely got the best job for me. But it
that's
was because
amazing.
I knew what fit I needed for myself and my life. So, and I was lucky to be in Seattle at the time.
That's amazing. What did you feel like an advice to pre-hired members? What did you feel helped you identify that ICP that you really need to go after?
It's really personal. For me, I come from a coaching background. So I knew I could take a job at, a grind house where if I just went and worked 12 hours a day and made a ton of phone calls, they already had a proven track record of success and I could make 6 figures in my first year. But 5 years from now, I may be capped at 150 and those skills may not transfer. There may not be a track to enterprise sales. So I didn't want to go that direction. The other thing was looking for a leader who was going to continue my education and a company that really implored the fact of growing and developing people and showed a track record of moving people up within the company. And also, it was important for me to work for a company that was truly in tech SaaS sales. I found some really cool jobs that weren't in tech SaaS sales here in Seattle that would have been really fun. But if I decided that wasn't the right fit for me, I would be in the same boat, a year or two for now without any tech sales in my repertoire or in my resume, which was a hindrance, for some of the bigger tech companies that I interviewed with.
Right. Well, going forward, Justin, you don't have to worry about that anymore, man.
Yeah, no.
And lastly, what would you say to anyone who's been following us but is still on the fence about getting started?
I would say understand that it's a very big commitment. It is a program that there is a price tag and you can see it and everyone's very clear about it in pre-hired. The way that I really accept it is it worked for me. I can definitely tell you that if you put the work in, it'll definitely prepare you to be able to go out and interview with these tech companies. You will be able to start your tech career. And if you do your part, you'll be good to go. And it's worth the price tag. The other part of it is, like you said, I'm going to get drinks with my mentor on Saturday. I'm talking to people in the program that just got certified and are asking me questions like, hey, where did you apply in Seattle? Is this working for you? Like, I'm starting to feel nervous, and they're reaching out to their peers who just went through the training instead of the actual pre-hired staff. And it's fun to have that networking, talking about, going into the future and be able to go to the conferences, and knowing that this community is going to grow and it's going to be like an alumni of sorts is super exciting. Going to these interviews and being like, oh yeah, we talked to a pre-hired guy last week, or we just hired a guy not too long ago who was a pre-hired guy. He's doing great. It was great to see. So the price tag over a career is not that big. It's totally worth it. The price tag for the next year or 2 years, or if you're paying up front, is it worth it? Yes, in the long run. If this is really, really what you're going to buy into and this is going to be your career, then yes, absolutely.
Amazing answer, Justin. So you heard it here, guys. The commitment, the amount of work will show. You succeed, you get an awesome tech sales job, and you crush it just like Justin. Well, amazing having you here, Justin.